Podcast, Season 4, Episode 3.
3? All right. The Club Tempted Podcast.
Yes, we're going to talk about our event and our little trip out to Club Tempted in Louisville, Kentucky.
Thank you for checking out the Impulsive Duo podcast. Remember, our content is for 18 and over. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Which we are on the road headed back from, well, we headed back from a lot of other things. We did a long 2-week trip.
We did do a long 2-week trip, and it was somebody's 40th birthday. And
It was. I'm old now.
I know. I was
Taking me out to pasture.
Exactly. Club Tempted was your last club at not 40. now every club we go to is 40.
Rude. Now I'm too old. Just kidding. Joking. The majority of people in the lifestyle are in their 40s and 50s. So I guess now I fit in more.
Yeah. No.
I fit the demographic a little more. But yeah, so we did a Unicorn Landing event. They had invited us out for a little while, and we just, for some reason, could not, just going out for the weekend. So this happened to work out that we were in Indianapolis, or needed to be in Indianapolis for a kid event.
And we ended up making it down to Club Tempted, and they were actually really cool to work with.
Oh
they were
my
so
gosh.
friendly. So, like, out of all the clubs that we've worked with, how do you think that they were to like? I don't know. I put them on like the top.
Oh, 100%. Well, and not only that, from like a business standpoint, from the other side, I've worked with clubs before who really don't communicate very well through, like, they'll email you back and forth, but they're just kind of like, yeah, come. And like, there's not a lot of communication. And they're a little bit like, oh, like, I don't know, just to me, it's not that hard. Like, I just want to show up and swag. And I've dealt with some owners of clubs before. It's definitely a special breed of people that own clubs. I've noticed that when you work with like the managers or like the staff, things are a little better. So I was working, and I actually didn't meet the owners of Tempted. I've heard they're great, but they weren't there the night that we were there.
Right.
And I was working with the management team, and they were just so, from the beginning, just very responsive. Like, they reached out, through email, and then we were texting, and, they both had my numbers, and it was just, yeah. So as from a business standpoint, from the very beginning, it was just very easy, and I felt very, like, welcome and excited. Like, sometimes we go to clubs, and they're like, yeah, come out, do an event. And then it's kind of like, hey, we're here, and, like, that's it. They don't, like, talk too much the rest of the night. They don't, like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You kind of question why you're there almost.
Yeah, you're like, why did you invite us out? Or why did you say you wanted to have this event? Like, we've done events before where, like, the DJ hasn't even, like, announced that we're there or, like, acknowledged it. And I'm like, okay. Like, what a waste of my time. Like, if you invite a business out or you want them to host a night, like, I hype you up. So, for weeks before, I'm like, we're going to be at this club. We're talking about this club. But they don't do the same in return. So I get it. That's a little bit like...
It's frustrating.
Yes.
It's frustrating to go somewhere and you don't... And it's just, even like if you're going just to a normal club, like, you can tell how inviting a club is by how they act for a business.
Yeah. So these people were just so nice. They were so, they got us a hotel. They were just very, like, responsive the whole time. Like, very excited for us to be there. Felt very welcome when we got there, like, let us kind of set up, and we're just very, like, we talked to them a ton throughout the night. We're just, like, very appreciative. We were so appreciative. I don't know. It was just overall one of the best, like, from a business standpoint, clubs that I've worked with, but then also from a just, like...
From a club
consumer,
standpoint.
yeah, like, from just someone in the lifestyle, like, not business-wise, hands down one of the best clubs I've ever been to. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this club.
Yeah, no, the whole thing, like, because it's the outskirts of Louisville.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts, not right downtown.
It's not downtown, yeah. And it really is kind of in the outskirts.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't know the area that well, but near Shepherdsville.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know the area super well, obviously, but it was definitely kind of like there's not a ton around it. But it was easy to find.
Very easy to find.
Big, nice parking lot. They were, as soon as you got there, actually, you know what I love? As soon as I got there, that cute guy in the back of me, it wasn't super busy yet because we obviously got there early, but he, like, was helping all the girls out of their car with their umbrella because it was raining when we got there. Like, just, like, I don't know, it was and they were, like, very welcoming when you first come in, and just the staff all in general were, like, some of the funnest, like, nicest people. And the club opens kind of early. It opens at 7, which is, like, wild to me because it's as now working with clubs, and like I've been doing obviously a lot of research because all the clubs are now on Unicorn Landing and all of that. And I've had to input all that information. Some clubs open at like 7 and some don't open till like 10. Like it's just a vast difference of dynamic. And there were people there at 7. Like people were coming to get their spots.
People were parked in the parking lot before they opened.
Well, and they want to, like, we're old, man. Like, we want to get the night started. Like, I don't want to party till 4 or 5 a.m. Like, I want to go, you know, it's nice when you start at 7 because you can start your evening and then you can leave by, like, 10, 11, 12 if you want. You don't have to stay till super late. So it definitely gives you a little bit more if you want to kind of go there and get your bearings and get a tour before it's super busy.
Because it's in its own building, so it's not attached. Like we went to clubs and stuff that are like house party types atmospheres. We went to clubs that were in different like strip malls in a sense,
or downtown. Yeah. But this is its own big building, and it's just kind of I'm trying to even remember what the building looked like. I think we were just in such a rush when we got there.
Black,
big black
two-story building.
Two-story building. Not a ton of windows. Like it was just kind of like it didn't look bad. It was just this building.
Yeah.
And you kind of go in and...
They had a big deck on the back that was covered, and that's where you would smoke or vape and stuff.
Yeah, they had a big smoking patio.
Which is nice, because I have been to a club before where they had a smoking area that was inside the club in a room, like hot-boxed of nicotine. It was so great. Yeah. It was bad.
Or some of them you just have to go outside, like the front of the building or something. Back out to the parking lot. But yeah, so there was that out back. But yeah, so you walk in, and it's just... I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just very big. The way they have it set up with the big dance floor in the middle.
Yeah,
like,
you walk in right to the dance floor.
Yeah, and all the seating around it. Again, it's one of those clubs that I feel like is really good for a newbie because it's not like you're just walking into, like, play areas and, like, all of that. Like, we've been to a lot of clubs where the dance floor is the main thing you walk into. There's tables. There's tons of seating. They don't allow any nudity out there.
Until 10 o'clock.
Well, 10 o'clock, but even that, that's only topless.
There's no...
You can't even be, like, no genitals,
activities.
You can't be
doing each other out there.
No sexual activity happening on the dance floor down there on that bottom, like, level or all those chairs. They keep that for the people that just kind of want to go dance, dress sexy, maybe take their tops off, things like that, but aren't ready for that other kind. So they really cater to all of that, and that's why I just feel like it's a really good place for newbies, clubs like that. Because if you're kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to feel, like you can go, into the other rooms or the other levels, but you don't have to like be just immersed in like the sex the entire time.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a lot, especially if you've never been to a club before and you just come in and people are having sex.
Yeah,
and
you're
looking
like,
at people getting blowjobs and all this.
You're like, okay, this is a lot. Like, yeah, so I think it's really good. So there was lots of seating, which
lots of seating. And none of it was like, they had the VIP area, but the whole dance floor area, none of it was VIP.
No, yeah.
That was cool.
Yes, it was open for everybody. They did have a few tables over to the side that were reserved.
Right.
But I think those were reserved for just like a birthday party, like a couple events. But they had tons of seating. Which is rare at a club. And they had told us when we got there, they were expecting almost 400 people. And this was before I had seen the club. And I was like, 400 people? How freaking big is this place? Because I was like, I've been to a club where it's 200 and something, and it's packed and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I was like, 400 something people? I did not once the entire night feel like I was crowded, uncomfortable, cramped, or hot, or...
The AC system was great.
Well, and there were places to like get away, and it was quiet. There were rooms where it was quiet. Like I never once felt like I was overwhelmed and like, you know what I mean, crowded. Like I have been in other clubs with almost 400 people. So that's how big this place is. And so, yeah, so there's a big downstairs, and they have a bunch of seating over kind of by the bar, which is nice, like just kind of like tables, and, you can put your drinks and like just hang out.
And I like how they had the bar around the dance floor. Like the dance floor is kind of like boxed in, but they had the bar so you could sit there and like watch, and then
people watch, because that's the best part of and talk to people, and still have your drinks and your stuff, and yeah, so just the entire setup. And they had we were there for the St. Patrick's Day party, because it was on March 15th, so right before St. Patrick's Day. And so they did
a good job.
Oh my god, the decorating was, so I don't know what it looks like without all the decorations, but they like go all out with the decor. Like it was so
big
fun.
Blow-ups and stuff like that.
Like the rainbow blow-ups. Yeah, it was so fun. So the bar setup is really nice and big. Like you never felt like, well, and it's bring your own alcohol. Most of the clubs are. There's lots of laws surrounding these clubs. But they had lots of mixers, and they could, get you things, and it was just...
Well, the cool thing, too, that I thought that was neat is that they had a community bar area. And so if you didn't bring any alcohol and stuff, you could get a community and I don't drink, but I just thought this was cool that
It was very cool.
You could get community shots out of the alcohol and liquor that was left behind.
Yeah.
And it was like a 2 max, so you only got 2, but still that was cool of them to do.
Yeah, well, and then they had the drinks that sometimes people would bring like a case of beer, but I don't want to take the rest of these home, so they would leave it. And it's just like a community. They could share it with you. They had lots of water, tons of bottled water, juices, all sorts of things. Like they had snacks. They had throughout the whole night. There were treats. There were chips and snacks and like little sandwich. Like there was just so like you're not going to get hungry and you're not going to get thirsty.
Right, and they had and it was cool too because they also had that seating area with tables. Like if you did want to eat snacks or whatever and sit around the table, away from the dance floor.
And away from like the sex. And it was more of like bar, like kind of restaurant-y tables set up.
They had a great the host made it too. The guy who did our tour was amazing.
Oh my god, yeah, what was his name?
I can't remember his name though.
Oh my gosh.
He was phenomenal. And if you go there and you have him, you know who he'd be because he was really actually amazing, hands-on and just funny.
He'd only lived there for like a year. He'd moved from California. He
Yeah.
was like a younger kid. Super like awesome personality. He was out on the dance floor all night, like did tours, made sure everybody felt welcome. So he gave us the tour, and
he was just super friendly.
Yeah, we luckily got there we got there obviously before anyone out. Like it was busy, so it was nice. We kind of got a tour without anyone there. So yeah, that's all downstairs. They had a couple of photo walls. I really liked their camera policies because most clubs are like, no cameras, all that, obviously. No videos, no photos. This one, they did have a couple separate sections where you could have your phone out and you could take photos as long as there was no one else in the photo. They were very strict. And they said they'd never had any problems with it. I think because they were just... When you have a crew that it's so much security, so much staff, so much nice, you're very strict. Like they don't have issues. They said with theft or like they don't have. I don't know. They just because it gives off such a safe, fun environment. Nobody wants to break the rules. Like the amount of respect people have for this club and this atmosphere was like unreal.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin a good time.
No, and even like there were single men there, and I have been to several clubs. And I don't care if there's like, the last 10 single men. Every single club I have ever been to, the last single men, I have felt uncomfortable at some point. 100%. And they're gawking, they're approaching you weirdly when you're waiting for a husband outside the restroom. Like, I don't care what club it is.
No.
I have no problem saying that, and I will call people out. I don't... Yes.
The only other club we've never had that issue at was Whispers, but they don't allow single men.
So apparently, I asked at one point in the night, I said, do they allow single men here? And someone was like, oh yeah, just like a few, like 10 or 12. I don't even know their rule.
And we even ran into a guy, he wasn't necessarily single, but he was there by himself.
Oh yeah, because his girlfriend didn't really like clubs.
Yeah,
so he was there with some friends. Yeah.
And even he wasn't creepy.
No!
And he was like super just friendly. He was
I'm just saying hi. Like, yeah, he was not even like remotely, like he didn't play alone. So he wasn't like he was out, like he was just kind of there with
He was
friends.
just there. He was just there to enjoy,
But I didn't once feel weird. Didn't even really see. I don't know. I didn't feel ever like when you left me like to go to the bathroom or something. I never felt like I just felt so comfortable in this club. Like as a single girl, and I met several single girls who were there, and that one girl we talked to, and she was just like, I love it here. Like I've never been to a place where I feel so safe and like free, and which was just, I don't know, to me it was just like amazing to see. So that just speaks highly of the club with the like their tolerance levels, their security, their like just their overall atmosphere and what they expect. And they have a zero tolerance policy. And unfortunately we've been to clubs where they don't have a zero tolerance policy. They'll have a conversation with the single guy. They literally like, you'll never step foot in this fucking building again. You do anything. Like they're so... And I don't know, they just had respect. So I really appreciated that.
And it was also staffed really well. And you can tell, and the staff members were all around asking constantly if you needed help. The managers were always walking around if you needed anything.
Yes,
and it wasn't like they were...
And the staff loved their jobs.
Yeah.
They were so excited to be there. Like, they loved it. And I mean,
it was that part was really cool. And then they did have a really nice locker room area. I got to give the locker room area
very
props.
big, nice locker room with some and some tape, like some mirrors and stuff the girls needed to change or whatever. But yeah, really, really big, nice lockers.
And then the VIP, they did have a VIP room downstairs.
Yes, that was separate from the dance floor area, and you had to have wristbands. You had to pay extra? Was that like an extra?
That was an extra upcharge for that VIP area, and you had to reserve it. And the thing was it was the only place downstairs that you could be fully naked, and you could also have sex.
Yes, but what's nice about the reserve, you could reserve it, but they weren't just going to let you put your stuff on a table and remember she said that she's like, you can't just dump
your
it's
stuff
still first
here.
come first serve.
Yeah.
They don't just let people put stuff here and then no one else can use the tables the rest of the night, and who's paid for the VIP room. So which I thought was really cool. They try to make it really fair. But we went in there and it never really felt super busy in that room.
No,
we popped our heads in a few times because they gave us wristbands to check out.
And they had water in there, and they had mints. They did a really good job of mints and mouthwash and gum all over the place.
And they had a bunch of St. Patrick's Day swag around.
Lots of St. Patrick's Day, and they also, and it was funny because they had alcohol all around even too. In that VIP area, they had community alcohol too that you could do
she
a
was
shot.
they were doing some.
So that was really cool of them.
St. Patrick's Day shots.
And then
you go upstairs, and the upstairs is really cool because it basically, it's not flat, it doesn't cover the dance floor. They're big, as soon as you walk upstairs, it basically just is you could look down, the middle is open.
Yeah, it circles the dance floor.
The dance floor, so you have to walk around, and you can look straight down on the dance floor, and there's, again, seating, and you can sit, so it's really good people watching. We sat up there, and there's little, tables, so you can have your drinks, and you can look over and watch the people on the dance floor.
Well, even one of the girls there who we ended up meeting, her boyfriend was security at the club, and they said hi to us and stuff, and she even said it's a lot of fun. Later on, go to the second floor and people watch, and we're like, oh, okay, and it was.
Yeah, so we did, and that's when people starting to have some fun, and the clothes, it was very good people watching.
And there was 2 VIP areas up there. There was a birthday party going on.
Yeah, so you could reserve those back areas for there was a birthday party,
and then there was another group up there, and it was all ages too. I mean, we saw people that were in their 50s, and then there was a really young group there that was probably all in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. And they were so nice, and they they wanted to say hi to us and stuff, and they invited us to, you could bring people with you into the VIP area and stuff. So they're like, come have a drink if you want, or come say hi. So
they had pizza.
Oh yeah, they were telling us
they had pizza. If you're hungry, we got pizza.
So they were allowed to bring food and all of that. So they weren't just these tiny little VIP areas. They were these big open. They could watch the dance floor, seating, and And so that was a really nice part of the club. And
when you first came up the stairs, there's 2 areas to go upstairs, and it kind of had it where it was like a flow too. There's one way up and one way essentially down.
Yeah, so you go up this one. Yeah, they wanted you to go. I mean, it wasn't they were going to kick you out if you went down the wrong way, but they kind of had you flow through the building. So it wasn't just the stairs didn't get clogged. So yeah, you go up on the one side, go up to that area, and then you go. So that's wrapped around, and then
if you went left, there was a BDSM room, and then there was the showers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, right on that floor, there was a whole kink area and another shower. Yeah, see, the club was so big, I forgot. I didn't even go back.
And they were really nice shower areas too.
Yeah, this one shower could hold 8 people. He was like, if you want to party in the shower, So yeah, really big, nice showers, not just open, super nice, super clean.
Very clean.
Yes, so clean. And so then
then they had the rule of the playrooms where once 6 people were there, you could shut the door or you could leave it open.
Oh, that's right. You couldn't just go in there. Yeah, the bigger room.
You couldn't just go in. 2 people couldn't go in and just shut the door and close off this room for playing, which was kind of cool. But also, it wouldn't get overly crowded either.
So once you had 6 people in there, you could block off. In the bigger rooms, you could block off, you could shut the door, or you could put up the rope so people could watch. Well, there was a window in that BDSM room.
Yep.
People could watch, but they couldn't come in unless they were invited. You could have more than 6 if you invited somebody in, but once 6 people were in there, you could kind of use the room. And they didn't really have time limits, but they were be respectful for a busy night. Don't hog the room all night.
And I will say, because we were by a bunch of the rooms too, where people were playing, and once they were done playing, they clean it all up and move the sheet like you're supposed to, and then they would leave. Like, no one, like, hogged any of the rooms, which is kind of cool.
And I never felt like anything was overly busy. So then you go up to another story, which is only, like...
A half story.
Like 5 steps. And that one is for couples only. And you have to be invited. Like, you know, a single guy or single girl is coming, you have to be with a couple. You have to be invited. Like, and if Eric and I were up there and Eric left... he would have to make sure that I was like came back and got him and stuff like that. So
or that the security guy would see you leave and just hope that they don't switch out. He said.
Yeah, he was like,
hope they don't switch out.
And remember that, yeah. But it was all that was all couples only or whatever, invite only, and so they
had all those themed rooms.
Yeah, so a ton of rooms. And they weren't like, I've been to some clubs where they're like cheesy themed.
They're cheesy. They're cheesy ass themes. You walk in and you're like, oh, this is kind of goofy. This is what you expect.
You're like, is this a birthday party? Or like, it's just like, yeah. Like some of them are like super cheesy. These were done really well. They weren't over the top. They were themed, but they weren't like. And one of the rooms was like outdoorsy.
It had like Greek statue and it had like cricket noises in the background.
Yeah, you go in there and it had like
trees and stuff all over the walls.
Yeah, and it had like the speakers, but you couldn't really hear it until you got in there, and it was just like faint cricket, like you're camping, like in the wood sounds. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then the fishbowl room had like ocean sounds, like really lightly if you walk in there, and like the water, the lights that looked like kind of you were underwater. Yeah, so they were just really in like like a glow room, like a room that was like
a black light room, and then they had the like 3-bedroom, and then they had the S&M room, and then they had the circle bedroom, and then they had the sex swing room.
Yeah, well, they had a Playboy theme. Yeah. Not Playboy, but like, what was it like? I don't remember. But so they had like just different themes, and they were really well done. So those are just kind of like the same rooms at every other club. You can like, you know, two people could, because they're smaller, 2 people come in there playing, you can put up the rope, people can watch you, you can shut the door, things like that, but you know, you take out the sheets when you're done. I don't know, the same
lots of towels and lots of lube and lots of condoms and breath mints
and lots of extra sheets, lots of like just and there's a kitty. Sorry, we're driving and there's a kitty on the side of the road. But yeah, lots of stuff and staff to help like change out sheets if you needed help, if you needed anything, like. And then in the back of that area, so there's lots of rooms to kind of walk through a hallway, and then in the back of that area there was a big open like seating area, and that was nice because the music was kind of loud, like it was very like dance party all night, you know. And so once you kind of got back up there in a way, it was very quiet. It was like very kind of loungy. So we actually hung up there just to like so we could talk.
Yeah, like and it's a cool area too because it's nice to have that spot so you could talk to another couple about like what are their boundaries and what are they into. So you weren't like in a room already getting naked, like, hey, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, like it was and it wasn't super crowded. It got busier as the night went on because more people went upstairs after like 10, 11 when people start to play more. But early on, we were up there and we were talking to a couple, and for a little while, we were the only 4 up there. Yeah. And we just like kind of sat, and it was so nice that you could like have a conversation, and it was very like, I mean, they did have like porn playing in the background, but it was quiet.
No, it was quiet, and then as the night kind of progressed, it got busier, and people ended up playing there. I mean,
yeah, we watched 2 hot girls like go at it on the couch.
And then on a couple of the chairs, like we were talking to one couple and behind me, they're just clapping at it.
I know, and we were just like, like that's what we were talking about that. I was like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I've become so numb to it. I think because we go to clubs, like I'm involved in a lifestyle. Like for the majority of like the populate people going to a club, people are just literally fucking behind you, and you're sitting here talking about like life with a couple, and you don't like it doesn't even faze you. You're like, they're having a good time, good for them, and then you're right back to your conversation, like, and porn's playing on the TV above them, and I'm just like, like I was like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, that and it's even like there was that one couple, like you end up talking to people like for a little bit, and you're like, you know, we'll talk about social media or whatever. And then it's funny because then you're talking to somebody else and you look in and these people that you just had this like normal conversation with, you look over and she's like going down on him and they're butt naked.
One couple?
Yeah, and they're butt naked. They're just fucking, and you're like, like 20 minutes ago we were talking about, cool grocery stores or whatever, like normal shit.
Yeah, we're talking about like our kids and our life, and then all of a sudden you're like,
you look over and they're just going at it.
It was like, oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, anyways, like, yeah, just it was. Definitely, but it was definitely the crowd.
The crowd really made it. It was very friendly, and they said that even a couple of people did say that sometimes and I think every club can get a little cliquey-ish, at times, depending on like how many people are there. But there were so many people there, you couldn't even tell.
Well, no, and of course there were groups of friends who were their friends, but every single group, like I didn't feel like there was nobody that we could walk up to and say hi. People were very friendly. The nicest that's one of the clubs that the best. I mean, like, we go to clubs, people are very friendly. I'm not saying I go to places and people aren't, but that's just one of the like the clubs I've talked to that I think we talked to the most people. Yep. Most people approached us and wanted to meet us. People were very kind, like wanted to take photos. Like, it was just very like welcoming. I felt welcome to be there. I didn't feel awkward because I've been at clubs before, not to point names, but the last club we did an event at, I was like, why the fuck are we here? Like, the people who were the regulars and did like the dancing and stuff were not friendly, like barely friendly to us. Like, acted like, why the fuck were we there? This was their club. It was their home club. There every weekend. Like, who are you? And I was like, fuck you. Like, we just came to experience this, have a good time. We've been promoting this event, and like, I don't need special treatment. Right. But if my name is stamped all over, my company's name is stamped all over the invites, and I've been doing nothing promoting this event, like, at least be nice and like make me feel welcome to your home club. Yeah. So this was not like that at all. They were so kind. Like, everyone was just very friendly. The DJ made us go out onto the dance floor and like announce us in front of everybody and talk about Unicorn Landing, and like, which was of course, you know, me. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. I was embarrassed, but it was
it was very, very welcoming.
The nicest people.
Very friendly people. And we didn't play at the club. No,
we didn't play. I had not, well, first of all, I had not been, we've also had been on a trip for several days. I had not slept, like, at all in the past, like, 4 days before that. So I was just, like, deliriously tired. Like, I wasn't sleeping well. We'd been go. We had to get up early, like.
It was a very stressful trip in some senses,
in the beginning. And then I wasn't sleeping, and then I was so stressed about not sleeping that I wasn't sleeping more. So I was just I was, like, dead tired. Tried to nap, didn't work. So I wanted to, but I just had to power through, of course. So I, like, you know, powered through, but I was like, I would be very much fun. Like, I didn't want to stay super late because we had to get up and drive back up to Indy the next morning. And so we couldn't even sleep in. And so I wanted to leave by like midnight, which of course we didn't end up leaving till like 1. But it
was really fun. It was one of those clubs, like, we've been at clubs before where it's like we want to leave and we're like, it's midnight, and we're like, all right, let's pack it up and go. But this one, it was kind of like hard because it was like people were just so friendly.
And everyone was still talking, and even the manager, like, it would, and so I was like, well, I don't really want to leave yet. Like, we were having so much fun. And there were definitely couples that I would have played with. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely met, it was a very diverse crowd, I will say that, as all crowds are in lifestyle, like, very, all body shapes, sizes, like, sexuality, like, everything. Like, that's what I love about clubs like this. Like, everybody's welcome, and nobody is, like, people are confident and just having a great time. But there was a lot of attractive people, but also a lot of, like, everyday looking people, which also, you don't want to go somewhere where, like, everyone's supermodel attractive, because then you're like, you know, some people might feel self-conscious or whatever. But it was just there was a lot of attractive, cute couples there.
Yeah.
Like,
are you a female, 18 and over, interested in the lifestyle? Make sure you check out Unicorn Landing at unicornlanding.com or download the app in your favorite app store today.
I talked to some very cute.
There's a lot of people I would have fucked.
Oh, yeah. I talked to some cute girls. Their husbands were fine, but just kidding. No. But yeah, we definitely would have played. I mean, the conversation, we didn't really have too much of that conversation with people, but like, some of the vibes were definitely there. But I was just like, I'm not going to be any fun.
Well, that's why I also asked you too, of like, hey, do you want to play? And you're like, no, I'm tired.
I honestly don't think I could, like, rally.
And it makes it easier when you know that from your partner. So it's like, okay, well, we're not going to ask people to play, and we're not going to put off vibes that we're ready to play.
If somebody would have maybe made a little more aggression towards me earlier in the night, or like, not aggressive, but like, you know, had maybe earlier in the night. I don't know.
I wasn't feeling it from you that you wanted to.
I know. I was just not feeling. Well, and I'm not really feeling myself. Like, I just haven't been feeling that great. Like, my own personal body image, like, issues, and so I was just like, it's fine. I mean, I felt cute and like whatever, but I don't know. I wasn't in the, like, sexy mood, if that makes sense.
No.
Like, I was like social, and I was like having fun, and I was in a good mood. I just wasn't like feeling sexy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the thing that's funny. Like, I think a lot of times people go to clubs and they're like, you know, we have to have sex and we have to hook up with other people. And it was like, you know, we just have fun, and and it's like you're on the same page with your partner, and what are we gonna do this time, you know? And
I think the problem is too that we've done, and we say this on a lot of podcasts and stuff, like, oh yeah, we don't really play when we do events just because we're so busy. Well, literally, we had like 3 couples tell us, be like, oh, you guys don't play when you do events or host events, and we're like, well, no, wait, we will. We just don't usually because this night didn't feel like work. Honestly, there's a lot of clubs where I'm just like, I feel like I'm like having to talk a lot. I don't know.
This one we didn't have to go. It's hard because a lot of clubs were either posted up at the entrance, which is fine because we get to meet everyone at the entrance, which I actually prefer because we don't have to go around and be like, do you know who I am?
Yeah, like meet people, or just like be awkward.
That's really awkward. But also we were in the back, and normally that's like kind of like we're already in there, and it kind of sucks because you have to go and meet people, and you don't know who knows you and not, or who's there for an event, or who just comes regularly. And this one, people just were like really friendly, would come up to us like left and right of like, hey, I recognize you.
Yeah, I don't know. The vibes of this club were I just felt really comfortable. Like I would have definitely fucked and like let people watch. Like I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
And I would have played. Like I want to go back. Like part of me just wants to go back just to go back to the club without like doing it. You know what I mean? Like any like no expectations because I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, definitely a good vibe. Definitely very comfortable. Definitely would have played, and I will play. We will play with people. If you meet us and you want to just throw it out there that you're interested, like let us know, because that's the other part is like now we had both people be like, oh, you guys don't play when you do events, and I'm like, no, wait, come back. I said that, but I didn't mean it like that. I bet it my ass. So if you're listening, doesn't mean I don't play when I do events. I will, and I think I'm just getting more confident and comfortable in lifestyle in general, so I will if the vibe's there, and like,
and also if the sleep's there.
The sleep is there, oh my gosh. And then still, we didn't get to sleep till like 2, and we got to get up early and drive back to Indy, and still didn't get any sleep. I didn't sleep for like a week on this trip, and then finally, once we like got down, then we went to Florida after that, and once we got down to Florida, I finally got like some sleep, and then I was sleeping good the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
We went to Disney World, and that was really fun.
We were gone for 2 weeks. That was a long
Not
trip.
2 weeks and 2 days. We're headed home now. Today's what, Wednesday? We left, it was 2 weeks on Monday. Yeah. So we are very ready to go home, and we don't have any lifestyle plans particularly coming up.
Well,
we relaunched and while we were there, not to mention the no sleep, while we were there, the reason I wasn't sleeping on top of just being busy is that we launched the app the day of the event, or the night before the event. The app launched, and it did not go well. I mean, it didn't go that great. There was definitely like some glitches with the app, and a couple things weren't working, and getting people migrated over has been a little stressful. So it was kind of a stressful few days. So I was already stressed all day about that, and then having to deal with, and then having to talk about an app that you're being stressed about is also like not fun. I'm like, I promise, the new app is great, and if you check it out, it's definitely like growing. We're just migrating all the old users over to the new platform, and so the new app is definitely, I was like, it'll be worth the hassle, I promise. But there's definitely some things, and that's
the app's 100% better than the old app.
Yes, but it was definitely a little bit. It's growing pains, and it comes with the, we hope that people are just, and for the most part, people have been kind and patient and understanding, and it will grow again, and we'll get there. It just comes with business pains, yeah. So I'm trying to not let it, so that adds some stress when you work so hard on something for so long. Like this has been 2.5 years in the making, and then it doesn't go as you plan. So that was added to the stress, but it's all right in hindsight. Like, what can you do? People are getting migrated over to the new platform, and they can use the 14-day free trial if you want to check it out, ladies. Unicorn 14. Once you sign up for, you go to like premium membership, and at the bottom it'll say redeem code. Type in Unicorn 14.
Is it uppercase or lowercase?
All uppercase Unicorn, the number 14, and it will give you a free 2-week trial to try out the app. And if there's not a lot of people in the area, just be patient, keep checking back. It's growing by hundreds every day. People are migrating over slowly. We're getting new users. It's just gonna be a process, and so yeah, but everyone's been really supportive and kind, so for the most part. Well, I had a few, but you're gonna get that with anything. So yeah. So we had a very fun trip. Highly recommend Club Tempted. We definitely want to go back, possibly the end of July if we can. We're gonna try to maybe make a little trip down there. And yeah, definitely recommend the club.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Looking for sex positive healthcare? Make sure to check out theimpulsiveduo.com and click on our affiliate link and check out Shameless Healthcare for all your sex positive healthcare needs.